everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. As you know, this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, guys. I hope you all I hope you all are having a fantastic day. This has been a bit of a crazy drama-filled day. And so I'm assuming a lot, if you're on social media, I'm sure that you have seen a lot of the drama that's been going on, and not necessarily in the US, but across the pond in Shutter Island, they are being their racist selves. And so it is just like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with you people? But anyways, before I even get to all of that stuff, if you've come from the Duchess of Sussex, the Duchess of Success. I'm sure you guys have probably talked about it. I think she had a podcast earlier today, and so I think so. You might, again, if you're not on social media, you may not have known, or if you're not browsing through for royal stuff, you may not have known. But we'll go through some of it here. But before we get to all of that, I want to say hi to all my awesome friends in the chat so far. Sherry Watts is here, and Church Nelly, our awesome moderator, is here. Hello, Church Nelly. She's like, wonderful Wednesday hump day. Good morning. Oh, wow. Hello, Church Nelly, and all our wonderful squaddies out there in South Carolina. Hello, Lydia, awesome moderator, is here. And also Karen M, our other moderator, is here. Thank you, our awesome moderators. Black Wheat is here, and Nancy is here, and Emerald. Hi, guys. Just saying hello to everybody. And Gwendolyn is here. Hi, Gwendolyn. And Victoria is here. Hello. Hello, Kenitha. How are you? Mrs. S is here. Hi, Mrs. S. How are you doing? And Joan is here. Let's see. Oh, Cynthia is here. Well, Cynthia, where are you? There we go. Yes, Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. And okay. So, and our other friends who are coming in, I'll say hi to them as we go along. But hi, guys. Whew, breather before we start. So our wonderful, before we even get to Shutter Island and their mess, our wonderful Duchess was out in Indianapolis last night, looking absolutely fantastic, absolutely fabulous as usual. I love this color in her. That green, oh, I'm telling you, green looks fantastic on Black women. It just, I don't know, it's just this thing about the shade of our skin. And even though Meghan is a lighter shade, it just looks amazing on our skin colors. And so she looks amazing, as you can see. And this is from Carly Ledbetter. Carly reports for Huffington Post, and she says photos from Meghan Markle's discussion last night with Rabbi Sandy Sasso at the Women's Fund of the Central Indiana event, The Power of Women, an evening with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. The two spoke about women's empowerment and supporting young women. And indeed, I saw a few posts, and I realized as I came on that I didn't bring them in because I got so caught up in the mess of Shutter Island that I was like, oops, I forgot. The Girl Scouts, they sent troop there. So there are pictures of these young girls there. I'll pull it in next time. There are also pictures of squaddies that were there. Apparently one squaddie brought gifts for the other squaddies of pictures of Harry and Meghan. I was like, oh, that's interesting and cool. But seems like there were just a lot of women there. And from the tweets that I saw, they all had a great time. It was very empowering time. So they all seem to have a really, really great time. And as we talked about, and as they had said, there was no press. So whether the interview, as you can see Meghan there with Rabbi Sandy Sasso, whether they're going to, release the interview with them, who knows? Hopefully, we get to hear a little bit of Meghan, but maybe not. But either way, they all seem to have a great time. So kudos for them. And yeah, just because I'm nosy and I love to hear Meghan's pearls of wisdom, I would absolutely love to hear it. I'd love to, even little snippets like, oh, come on, power of women. Just give us little snippets. That's all we ask for. Maybe we'll ask for the whole thing later. Or maybe, I don't know, because I know Michelle Obama has done it before, and quite a few like Brooke Shields and others that have come and done exactly this before. So I don't know if they've released, and I'm just thinking about it now. I didn't think about it, to check it earlier. So I don't know if they've ever released like recordings of the events that they did with them. So that's something I'm going to check out to see, which will give me an indication if they are going to release anything from last night. So that would be good. But yeah, I just, absolutely amazed. And again, Meghan just always, it doesn't matter what she wears, she looks amazing. And this is me being like totally shallow because I have no other information on there other than it was empowerment and other people and people had a great time. So I don't know if you guys saw anything or heard anything more about it than what I heard, but I definitely love to hear if if you guys, if you heard anything. Sylvia said Michelle Obama, Brooke Shields, Soledad O'Brien, but no audio. Oh, okay. Okay, because yeah, no audio. So then I guess we are to expect no audio. If we wanted audio, we would have been there. I guess that's the thing. That entices people next time to come, because I think, the thinking might be, well, if we're just releasing the audio after, then people, it wouldn't entice anybody to come because they'll just think, well, I'll just, get the audio days later or something. So there you go. So we are to expect nothing, nada from last night. So there we go. All we know, they all had fun, and I think that's good enough. So yeah. Thank you very much, Sylvia. Um, and if you hear barking, if you hear any kind of barking, our neighbor has a very loud little dog, and so it tends to go off sometimes. Ours is a little loud too, but seems like whenever I'm doing a podcast, she's been behaving, so which is a good thing. So anyway, Victoria says no leaks on Montecito, none at all. They just don't leak at all. Oh, hello. Hello, Melina Lucia from Africa. What country in Africa are you? I mean, no pressure if you don't want to say, that's fine, but welcome. Absolutely welcome. Happy that you're here. Happy that you're able to join us. So, Lottie says, now watch it. Oh, we will just ignore that. We will just ignore them. We are giving them no press. But Lottie, I see. I see and I hear you. Absolutely see and I hear you. And wouldn't be surprised. So there we go. Um, so what else is happening? So away from this beautiful, beautiful moment of which we know no details, we move over to Shutter Island. We're going to be in Shutter Island for most of this episode because just some stuff has been going on over there that is just like, oh my goodness, really? So yesterday, I mean, if you're a squatty, this should come as no surprise to you, but it's still so jarring when you hear it. We've done episodes upon episodes about just the cruelty of the royal family and taking away Harry and Meghan's security. We've talked about, Harry obviously suing Home Office to be able to pay for his own security to make sure that his family is safe when they are in the UK, etc. And it's so we know, even before Harry sued, we've talked about this over and over and over about just the callousness of removing security from two people who should be protected people. And so yesterday when Channel 4 released this, it was, even though I knew, it was still so jarring to hear. Channel 4 News says there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan Markle emanating from the far right. Absolutely. Former head of counterterrorism for the Met Police, Neil Basu, tells Kathy Newman about the disgusting and very real threats Prince Harry and Meghan faced. And this was on a daily basis. And it just, it really rings home because again, Harry is suing Home Office because apparently, Home Office has, they are very lax with it. Well, it's on it's on an as need basis, and all of these things to really lie to the public that, oh, it's not that big a deal. Harry is just, wanting to be precious about things, wanting to have things the way he had it before he, left from working for the royal institution, and all of these things to lie to the public, because this is a man who was, the head of counterterrorism. So, in order for them to have had any kind of real assessment of the danger that Prince Harry and Meghan is, they would have had to go through him. They would have had to have the information that he has to make a credible decision as to whether Harry and Meghan need security or not. And they lied about, oh, and in the way that they presented it as, oh, it's just as an as need basis, that they were right in taking the security and all of that away. And then you hear from the former head of counterterrorism, that there were real and credible threats emanating from the far right against Meghan. They were disgusting and very real threats. This is from the mouth of the head of the counterterrorism. And all of a sudden today, a lot of the British press are acting like, oh, this is like new news. This is like the first time we're hearing, oh my goodness, really? Meghan was really in trouble? You mean that there was there were credible threats on her life? The same outlets, the same media outlets that were inciting this hate, inciting all of this stuff against her, are today acting like this is a new teaching. They've never heard of this before. And acting all shocked, like, oh my gosh, maybe, I even saw like a clip of this guy on, I think, Jeremy Vine. He knows that he is part. I mean, Jeremy Vine is part of the inciting of hate against, especially Meghan, every single day. And yet today, or at least the clip that I saw, which I'm used today, one of their guests is like, oh, well, I guess, we have to think about maybe when we say things, maybe that it help, that it drives this kind of reaction. And he's acting like maybe, possibly, like he doesn't know that all the hate that they've all been throwing at Meghan is the reason why the threat level is where it is. And so it's just so sickening. And it just, I'm telling you, Meghan and Harry are saints, because I would just literally I literally will cut this country off at this point. Like, I would literally cut every one of them off. I would never venture into that place ever, And to think that the royal family know this, they know exactly this, because they are also they are part of Ravek, who decided and who stripped Harry and Meghan of their security. And again, knowing that they stripped them of their security when they're the most vulnerable, and then leaked their locations when they were in Canada to the press. When they stripped them of their security, they leaked it, where they are, or at least where they were. I mean, my only thing is the only thing you could come up with as the reason for this is that they wanted to Diana them. Because why would you? Why would you do that? And again, they knew exactly what Mr. Basu knew. The royal family knows exactly what he knows, because they are part of Ravek. They know the threat level. They know all of that Meghan, especially Meghan, faced. They knew all of it, and they stripped their security. And if you remember when on Oprah, Meghan even talked about, she said she wrote to the family asking, and the fact that she even said this was like, really? She's like, I know that my safety and Archie's safety is not your, um, is not your priority, and I accept that, but please don't take the security away from my husband. Because obviously, Harry comes with the inherent risk and all of that stuff. Even that, like, what? No, your security should be of paramount importance, and to know that they said no, as she said on Oprah, they said no, can't be done. They stripped it. And I'm telling you, when karma really descends on these people, am I run and hide? Because I don't know if I want to see what karma's gonna do to these people. It must really run and hide. Because I don't know how evil you have to be to, like, I just can't process this kind of mentality. This is brutal mentality. They wanted them that's just the only thing you could come up with is that they wanted them dead. Or else why would you do it? And it's amazing. It's like unreal to me. And of course, now a lot of them are saying, well, I guess this bolsters Harry's claim in court. And that backs up hello. The fact that, so if you never heard this from him, you would never believe that Harry and Meghan are, like, with all the threat that's out there on social media, none of us needed to hear from him. We knew what the threat was. We see it on social media, especially we see it from their royal reporters and all the news articles that are put out attacking them every single day. So you really have to be blind and have, walking around with a paper bag over your head, and then you bury your head in the sand and all of that stuff for you not to know that all of those things are inciting hate. And the worst part about it is that the royal family is in complete collusion with this. That they are working hand in hand with the British tabloids, especially. And it is just, it's unreal to me that oh God. I wish I could say we're moving on to something more pleasant, but unfortunately we're not. But anyway, Independent did an article about it. This is just one. There are numerous articles on this now. And so now it's the whole thing of the others who are in the US. They're like, oh, well, this is, these things are taking away from the, I was like, whatever, we don't care. We really don't care. But anyway, Independent did an article on this, and let me just move myself out of the way. There we go. Move myself out of the way, and also move our banner. So again, if you, that little scrolly thing at the bottom, actually that could have stayed there, I guess. If you have not, if you have not subscribed to our channel, if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. But we'll get back to all of that in the end. And we'll just look at this article now. It says, from the Independent, it says, disgusting, incredible plots against Meghan Markle investigated by the police. And this is a little bit of what Mr. Basu said. He says at the bottom, he says, if you've seen the stuff that was written, you would feel under threat all the time. And he's talking about, the stuff that was written about Meghan. I am also going to move. Oh, my goodness. I'm all in the way here. Let's just move our brand as well. So that way, there we go. So we get to read the whole article. It says, there we go. There we go. Police have investigated many disgusting and very real threats to the Duchess of Sussex. The former head of the UK counter-terror policing has said, there has absolutely been a genuine threat to Meghan's life on multiple occasions. The people have been prosecuted And people have been prosecuted as a result, said Neil Basu, an assistant commissioner to the Metropolitan Police. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all the time, Mr. Basu told Channel 4 News, adding, we had a team of people investigating it. And then it goes on to talk about, Meghan quickly became the subject of intense racist abuse after her relationship with the Duke of Sussex was made public. And Prince Harry saw fit in that November to issue a sharp statement condemning the vitriol against her on social media and in the tabloid coverage. And then it goes on to say security concerns have been of paramount concern for the couple, particularly since stepping back as senior royals. And in their interview with Oprah Winfrey last March, Meghan alleged that she had personally pleaded with the royal family not to remove a Prince Harry security detail, which I just spoke about a second ago. But yeah, I mean, it just, one of the big things that I think about all of this is the fact that the royal family knew all this and they've never said a word. They've never said a word calling out not the racism, not the attacks, not the clear threats on a woman's life, where most likely Meghan was living in fear, when during that walkabout when they were there for the, Queen Betty's funeral. One of the things that was very, very, very clear was how terrified and traumatized Meghan looked. We were all saying we've never seen Meghan look like that. She looked terrified. And we knew that there, again, we knew about the threats, but again, hearing it in this light and from this person magnifies it even so much more. And it helped me to understand so much more why she looked so terrified. I wouldn't have gone. I would literally have not gone there, And I mean, it may have helped that nobody knew they were going to be there and they just showed up. So that, may have brought it down a little, but it just, the kind of courage it took to have to go out there and not knowing what crazy nutcases in that crowd, it takes some kind of courage. And so again, just Meghan's demeanor it was very clear. And anyone else in that situation would I definitely, again, I would not go. I would stay far away from those people. And thank God it turned out well. And people there, they were great, except that one lady. And the people there were great and, were very gracious and everything like that. And, it went off without a hitch. But you never know in these situations. You really just never know. And so I'm telling you, when karma descends on the royal household, that's all I'm going to say on that one. Anyways, moving on. Well, this happened yesterday, and if you haven't heard about this, we're just going to go through this. You're like, it's one of those things you're like, okay. Anyway, so yesterday, royal family posted this. Yesterday, Queen Consort Camilla decided to, she's gonna host a event for women who've been abused, and she's been quote unquote, advocating for women who have been victims of domestic violence and all sorts of violence towards women. So she has been again, quote unquote, advocating for women. And so this happened yesterday. They had a big thing at Buckingham Palace, and all these people were there, and all these women. I think some of, there's her and Sophie in the top picture, and other women there. And, I guess some other royalties, flew in. And so there are, a lot of, quote unquote important guests, but they also went ahead and invited other people in say in the community, the domestic violence community, or at least organizations who help women to overcome domestic violence. So they went ahead and they invited, leaders from those organizations as well. And so royal family tweeted about it: as we mark the UN 16 days of elimination of violence against women, the Queen Consort welcomed guests, including survivors of abuse, charity representatives, politicians, ambassadors for the cause. For the cause to Buckingham Palace to recognize in recognition of this important cause. And so there's Camilla with all, greeting the guests and whatever. And on the whatever you think of Camilla and and violence against women, we'll get to that in a second. But they were doing their thing and we weren't paying attention because I'm like, again, Camilla and violence against women. But anyway, so they were doing their thing yesterday. And then this morning, this dropped. And again, if you have not been on social media, you may not have known. If you are and you know about this, just bear with us so I can catch everybody else up and we'll chat. So anyway, Sister Space, which is, her name is Ngozi, and that's her in the picture. She is the CEO of Sister Space, and it's an organization that helps, again, women with, dealing with the trauma of domestic violence. And so she was also invited, and apparently, and again, I didn't know anything about her. It's my first experience with her. So, or hearing about her and what she does. And apparently she is incredible and does incredible work in this space, and, very well respected. And she's the CEO of Sister Space. And she was actually invited to this event. And so she went, and then this is what she tweeted today. She says, mixed feelings about yesterday's visit to Buckingham Palace. 10 minutes after arriving, a member of the staff, Lady SH, approached me, moved my hair to see my name, to see my badge. The conversation below took place. The rest of the event is a blur. And she thanks Mandu Reed and Susanna E. Jacobs for their support. And so this is the conversation between her and Lady SH. And we'll talk about Lady SH in a minute. Lady SH, where are you from? Me, Sister Space. SH, no, where are you from? Me, we're based in Hackney. SH, no, what part of Africa are you from? Me, I don't know. They didn't leave any records. SH, well, you must know where you're from. I spent time in France. Where are you from? Me, UK. SH, no. But what nationality are you? Me, I'm born here. I'm British. SH, no. But where do you really come from? Where do your people come from? Me, my people. Lady, what is this? SH, oh, I can see I'm going to have a challenge getting you to say where you're from. When did you first come here? Me, lady, I'm a British national. My parents came here in the 50s when SHO. Oh, I knew we'd get there in the end. You're Caribbean. Me, no, lady. I'm African heritage, Caribbean descent, and British nationality. Oh, so you're from, and I guess the conversation went on and on and on. And it's, I mean, I couldn't get past she moved my hair to see my name tag part before I could even get into the conversation. She moved. Oh, no. Wait. No audio. Are you hearing me now? Oh, wait. Elizabeth said no audio. Is my audio out? If you can let me know if you're having problems with my audio, that would be really great. Okay, so you have audio. Okay. So maybe Elizabeth, maybe you want to do a reboot or just sort of like yeah. So maybe reboot YouTube and see if that helps. So I don't know why you're not getting audio. That's weird. So do a reboot and see if that helps. So, okay, so others can hear me. Okay. But yeah, so as I was saying, it's like I couldn't even I was stuck at the she moved my hair to see my name tab, my name badge. You are a stranger. You're going up to someone without their permission and moving their hair because you feel so entitled, Lady SH. You feel so entitled to go up to a strange person you've never met, move her hair out of the way so you could see her name tag. I'm like, I can't. I was just like, I couldn't believe. And then to not only you have the audacity to do that, but then to drill her, this guest that you've invited, one, you're there as a staff, meaning if you're going to be inviting people to this event, you're inviting people who work in a space where they're dealing with trauma that they've probably have been through trauma themselves. They're invited guests, so that means you should familiarize yourself. And apparently Ngozi is very, very well known in the community, so that means this woman, this staff member, has not familiarized herself with any of this. She, especially definitely not with Ngozi, this Black woman that just showed up. It seemed to her that she felt the need to drill her, even when she said, "I am from here, I'm British." It's like, no. Where are you from? Where are your people from? And it's like, are you serious? Are you serious? And she would not stop. And even when the ghost is like, "Lady, I'm a British national," and she's like, "Oh, I see you're from the Caribbean." And I am like, I don't even understand how you even, one, get to the place where you're moving somebody's hair out of the way so they can see their name tag. Two, drilling them and not believing that this person, because she's a Black woman, you have convinced yourself that no, she is not possible. She can be born in the UK. Not at all. She has to be born in Africa or the Caribbean. Well, at least in her mind, in the Caribbean. She couldn't possibly be British. You're Black. No, you can't be born here at all. You can't be a British national. Of course not. And I like, I don't get flabbergasted by anything the royal. I mean, I don't think any one of us do, but I just think it's just the audacity, and and I think of this, and Lady SH was so comfortable doing this in public, in a public space where there are so many people around her, and apparently, and Ngozi wasn't by herself. She had two other people with her that all witnessed and all experienced this trauma with her. This woman felt so comfortable doing that in that space. One could only imagine what she does in private. One could only imagine if there were nobody else around and Ngozi was there by herself, what she would have done and said to her. And I am like, I mean, we talked about yesterday with Howard Stern and his mess going after Black people. And this is the same kind of thing. This is the same. This is like, are you kidding me? And there is just no self-awareness. Like, there is no self, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be saying this to somebody. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this in a public space. Maybe I should. I mean, nothing. It was like the most normal thing for them to do. It's the most normal thing for these people to be racist. And it broke my heart when I read that. And a little bit more about, what Ngozi tweeted, and to really sort of get a sense of how she was feeling in those moments. These are 4 of her tweets. She says, "Thank you so much for standing there in a room." Thank you so much. She's talking to, she's replying to DR underscore IWI. And she says, "Thank you so much," or whatever they said to her. And she says, "Standing there in a room packed with people while while this violation was taking place was so strange, especially as an event was about violence against women. That feeling of not knowing what to do will never leave me. Almost alone in a room full of advocates. And another of her tweets says, she's responding to, someone tweeting to her, and she says, "Nothing but love, Suzanne." I guess Suzanne tweeted to her, "For Mandu Reed and all those who have sent their beautiful messages of support." She says, "I think it is essential to acknowledge that trauma has occurred, and being invited and then insulted has caused much damage. I did not want to spoil it for you too." So I guess this Suzanne was there, and she basically had to suck up how she was feeling and the trauma she was feeling in the moment, and until she could find an appropriate time to leave, because she said that she wanted to leave right away, but she felt like because she was there representing Sister Space, and there were others with her, she didn't want to leave right away, because you're in that space and you don't want to, you want to think of others as well, even though you're dying inside. She tweeted another two of her tweets. She says, from a Manisha, she says, "3 of us were totally stunned." There were 3 of them together, and she says 3 of us were totally stunned, wondering what we are to do in that situation. Who do we tell? Maybe soon I can express what it is to be like in that environment so that it will never happen to anyone else. For now, I'm still processing this violation. And another of her tweet, she's tweeting to Mandu. She says, "Not sure what would happen if you weren't there or wasn't there. It's not for Susan Jacobs. If not for Susan E. Jacobs, I would have just left. I can't keep being that strong woman. I'm tired. This was the final straw. Going to meet my obligation until next month, then just focus on my research." And I think this is the saddest part about this, because this is a woman there in this space dealing and really trying to help women who are facing all kinds of trauma. And then she is the victim of said trauma. And this is the thing where so many people fail to grasp is the trauma of racism, how much it damages people. There is this woman helping people, and now she's like, "I'm just tired. I am tired. I'm just going to meet her obligations for the next one." And she's like, "I'm just going to go focus on my research," because she has to take care of her own mental health. She has to take care of her own mental wellness. And how many people, because of what this racist woman at Buckingham Palace did, how many people are going to miss out on the benefit of being able to be helped by this woman? Because she has to now focus on the damage that was done to her. And so many people feel, so we can just throw out these racist stuff and we can just treat people however without understanding there's long-lasting damage that's done. When Meghan recently talked about, in that interview, she talked about, there's so much that she could say, but she's healing. The amount of time Black women have to take off just to be able to deal with the racism thrown at us on the daily, a lot of times. It's unreal. And the fact that she said, to be invited into this space and then be insulted, humiliated, and violated is so unconscionable. And honestly, if she had not said anything, you would never hear of it. I'm sure that woman, would have never thought like, "Oh, this is wrong." That probably would have never occurred to her that what she did it was wrong. Or maybe it didn't. She just didn't care. It's unbelievable to me. And and even with that, it's heartbreaking to read that. But I also had to look at the realness of this, and I tweeted in a long thread about this, is Meghan sat there for what is it, an hour and a half, 2 hours, well, however long they, Harry and Harry sat there with Oprah talking about the royal family and letting people know this is who they are. This is who the royal family is. They sat there, put themselves at risk, sit in front of a camera and told the world who the royal family is, what they're about, their lack of care, the racism, the fact that they didn't care that she was suicidal. She sat there and talked to everyone. So nobody can say, well, I didn't know who these people were. My thing is, why don't we listen? Why don't we listen? And it's like, okay, this is who they are. I'm going to stay clear of these people. I'm going to stay clear. I'm going to call them out until they change. I long for the day to see when Black Brits say, no, I'm not going to put myself in the situation where you can sit there and use me as a prop. The fact that this woman, who is one of the queen's right hand, actually, she was even just given a new role as head of household or something like that. And, one of Camilla's closest confidants. And she doesn't know who this woman is. Tell you they don't care. These people do not care. They don't care what your title is. They don't care what you've done. Going to these events is not about you or your organization. It never was. It never will be. Because her thing was like, this was supposed to be celebrating or really honoring the work that she does and the work that her organization does. That was the impression she got when she accepted the invitation to go. That's what she thought they were going to do. And hopefully this is a wake-up call, especially to organizations run by Black and brown people. They don't care. They never did. It was done. None of this stuff is about you or your organization. The royal family patronages and their charities. This is not for the charity. This is for them, to give them publicity. This is for them. This is not for you. This is for them, especially now in this kind of a place. It's for them. This is we'll see, we are not racist. This is for them. And so hopefully this is, for me, I'm hoping this is a wake-up call for them to understand the space that they're going into. If they choose to accept these invitations that the royal family throw out, they go in there understanding that this is for royal family PR. And you are a prop. And that is it. You are a prop. Your children are a prop when they go into your children's school, as we saw Camilla. This is like the third time in 1 week where Camilla has been exposed and her people around her has been exposed for the racists that they are. She, with this little toddler, two little Black children, look at her engagement with them. Look at Angela Levin, the one who wrote her autobiography or biography, whatever. And her comments, her racist comments about Meghan. And yet, here again, in Buckingham Palace, at Camilla's event, one of her top aides decided to be racist towards to a guest of their event. I mean, this is who these people are. This is not a one-off, like, oh my gosh, this happened, it's not gonna happen again. This is who these people are. They are imitating the royal family courtiers, literally imitate the behavior of their, of their bosses. We see it with Prince Charles's. We've talked about Prince Charles's courtiers. They all do the same thing. The way their bosses behave is how they behave. They did it to the Queen as well. And so it's just like, I am really, really hoping Black people stop allowing yourself to be used as props. Stop allowing them. Say no. Say no to their so-called honors, those MBEs and OBE, whatever, that they use to buy your loyalty. Say no. So I hope that this jarring experience would wake some people up, And I mean, it's unfortunate, and I'm so sorry that she went through this. But maybe this is a way that people would finally be like, okay, no, we're not going to accept this anymore. You know? And of course, this this blasted all over. All the news outlets are, carrying this issue. Scobie tweeted out, Shock the Shola, and then everyone else is like, even reporters that are, all, very palace friendly, and all their sycophantic royal reporters and all, they were all tweeting about it. So the palace had no choice. They literally had no choice. They had to make a statement. You know how they waited like a day after Oprah, and then it's like the, recollections may vary nonsense. Oh no, this one was like right away. We got word from the palace, and so Scobie tweeted out, and many others. I mean, they did a whole press release, so all the royal reporters, I guess, tweeted out. It's like Buckingham Palace confirmed to the former lady. Buckingham Palace confirmed that the Queen's former lady in waiting, Lady Susan Hussey, this is the Lady SH, has stepped aside from her new role as Lady of the Royal Household with immediate effect. They added that she would like to express her profound apologies for the hurt caused. And this is a statement from Buckingham Palace. We take this incident extremely seriously and have investigated immediately to establish the full details. In this instance, unacceptable and deeply regrettable comments have been made. We have reached out to Ngozi Fulani on this matter, and we are inviting her to discuss all elements of her experience in person if she wishes. In the meantime, the individual concerned would like to express her profound apologies for the hurt caused and has stepped aside from her honorable role with immediate effect. All members of the household are being reminded of the diversity and inclusivity policies which they are required to uphold at all times. So they're claiming that they've talked to Ngozi, they've apologized, and they obviously now we know it's Lady Susan Hussey, and we'll get to her in a second, who, by the way, is Prince William's godmother, just in case, on a side note. They're claiming that they reached out to Ngozi and they're inviting her to discuss it. And notice that they didn't say that they apologized. They're just like, oh, it's unacceptable and regrettable comments have been made. Not racist, unacceptable and regrettable comments. And we've reached out and inviting her to discuss, i.e., we're inviting her to Buckingham Palace to sit here, and we're going to have photographs of this so that we can show the world, see, we're not racist. Yeah, which is what exactly that means. And it's one of those things that you're like, okay, the only reason that Buckingham Palace does things like this quickly is when they know if they don't, whatever they want you to, focus on is going to be it's going to be detrimental to that. And we know why they did this, because they want to put back attention on the others who are invading the US. And so I'm sure just about everyone in the UK was shocked at how quickly this statement came out, and it's just like, interesting. But then when you, and I guess, this is Buckingham Palace, that, it's like when they say something is too good to be true, usually it is. Nadine White tweeted out, exclusive, Ngozi Fulani tells me that she hasn't heard from the palace. Received an apology after the resignation of aide who made racially offensive remarks. Also, says incident is evidence of racism in the royal family, calls for anti-racism training to be rolled out across the royal household. The royal family put out a whole press release about contacting Ngozi. And here's Ngozi saying, no, nobody contacted me. I never got a call from them. Nobody apologized. So they just literally lied. Buckingham Palace literally just lied to their people, lied to their world, inflicting further hurt and humiliation and, I mean, on this woman. Lying to her face that, oh, we invited her to come to Buckingham Palace, or we invited her to come if she's interested, to come and share her experience. When they did not even contact her and apologize for what they did. And so I guess she was on LBC, and Dr. Shola even tweeted about it, listening to Ngozi Fulani on LBC now. And she says Buckingham Palace has not contacted her or apologized to her. This statement is a lie. And I'm like, are you the fact that these people could put out a bold-faced lie in front of the world, and this is the thing, they're not used to being called out in the moment like this. They're used to lying and the press covering up for them. And it's just like, and today is just not those days. And I'm so glad she was an LBC and spoke out right away that, no, you're lying. You didn't even have the decency to call me and apologize. There should be no statement from Buckingham Palace. This event was Camilla's event. Camilla is the one that should be she should be making a public statement on camera. People need to see her apologizing. Lady Susan Hussey should not be resigning. She needs to be apologizing publicly on camera. That's what she needs to be doing. And then they should fire her. And so this pretty statement of, oh, she's leaving, leaving her noble. We're going to get back to how noble Susan Hussey has been. But just the audacity of these people to literally sit there and bald-faced lie to the world about something that is easily verifiable is unreal. Oh, yeah. And so, I saw this and I'm like, okay, so this stuff hopefully is going in a real, taking a turn where people are really going to start taking a stand and speaking truth to power. Manda Reed, who was one of the people that Ngozi was thanking, she was on Sky News, and I will post this. Hopefully, you'll be able to view the video where she talked about this, and she's basically what she said. She said, "I want to see that royal household acknowledge the institutional racism that is a part of their culture." And she also says that she believes Meghan Markle's claim of racism in the royal household have been validated. Not that we needed, for this to happen to know that Meghan was telling the truth, but, she was on Sky News and she was saying it, and she was even saying this is not, there shouldn't be a situation where Susan Hussey could just, retire or just, resign her job and with a cute little statement. She should be apologizing. Camilla should be apologizing, not them putting out some lying statement. And so, but I appreciate her saying, Meghan Markle's claim has been validated. It's a shame that this had to happen for them to really believe Meghan, because I know a lot of even Black people in the UK did not believe Meghan. I know, because we featured, I remember that, I think she was a professor or one of them, who basically blamed Meghan for speaking out about racism in the royal family. I remember, what's her name? Oh, shoot, Candy, I don't remember what her name is. But there are two people that the Queen, appoints to be like sort of like head of their community, whatever. And none of them believed Meghan. They didn't believe about the racism when she said it. They're all, on the Daily Mail. I remember them being on the Daily Mail. At least the Daily Mail featuring them in articles, claiming how the royal family is not racist. And so Will this change their mind? It's sad for me that Black people, this has to happen for Black people to have believed that, oh, wow, yeah, the royal family is racist. Amazing. But, anyways, moving on. I mean, at least this is a step in the right direction of this. And these are some of the, some of the responses. Scobie, when it first happened, he tweeted, Buckingham Palace. Well, this was their statement. Buckingham Palace. We've reached out to Ngozi Fulani on this matter, and we are inviting her to discuss the elements of her experience in person if she wishes. And then he goes on to say, not so, Miss Fulani, who tells Nadine Wright that she is yet to hear from anyone. And Scobie also, and I think who was very, very true on this, he says, a speedy response from Buckingham Palace, who have a history of silence and or denial for incidents regarding race. Lesson finally learned? Or is it just not wanting anything to overshadow the Wales's Boston visit? Arriving in the US amidst another race scandal wouldn't be the best start. And I think that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. And I'm glad Scobie calls it out as he's been doing. One of the things that you see on the right is that the New York Times has already picked it up. So I'm assuming others in the US, and I haven't checked yet, but others in the US are going to pick it up. Buckingham Palace staff, remember, resigns after exchange with Black guests. After exchange with Black guests. It's funny they didn't put the racist, but that's it. But at least they picked up the story. It says, the palace said its unacceptably and deeply regrettable comments had been made at a reception. The remarks evokes echoes of accusation made by Meghan Markle, the wife of Prince Harry. I see they're all piecing it together. I will leave them to do that, So also, even with all of this happening and what Sister Space and Ngozi had tweeted before, and she tweeted that, this staff, SH, she tweeted this. This is the thing that I think trips up a lot of times when British Black Brits in dealing with people dealing with people that are more powerful than they are, or say with the royal family. This is what some of the things that happen sometimes. Thanks to everyone for their support. It is not our wish to reveal the person involved. It is the system that needs to be revised. Yes, the person was offensive, but it serves no purpose to name and shame her. It would make us just as bad. We prefer this to be handled kindly. And so, when you see stuff like that, it kind of gives you pause. When this person, if you remember all that we just read, the 4 tweets that, she was talking about how damaged and all of that's how she felt, and she felt violated and all of those things. And in her original tweet, she put Lady SH. So if she didn't want people to know who it is that did that, why did she put Lady SH? The moment there's Lady SH, we would figure it out, and the majority of the squad figured that out in a second, because Lady SH, it's like, hello, who is around, who would be around Camilla to be there, So, and then pictures of her started popping up all over. But it's very interesting to me because it reminded me, I don't know if you guys remember, there was an incident where with Eamon Holmes and this Black doctor, a biracial doctor, on, I think it was either This Morning or GMB, one of those British shows. And she was there and they're talking, and she has, big hair. She has big curly hair. And Eamon Holmes referred to her hair as an alpaca. He's like, you look like an alpaca, referring to her hair. And so when he did that, a whole Black community just jumped on her side, defending her, because he was being racist, and really called him out. And, really we brought up, what he did to Meghan. It's the same. These people they're just racist. And Eamon Holmes, he'd already done that uppity thing with Meghan and all of that stuff, and been on, one of those radio shows saying how much he hates Meghan, even if he hadn't met her, and saying all these nasty things. So people were calling him out. Sister girl decided to, instead of, appreciating people standing up for her and calling out Eamon Holmes, what she did was side with Eamon Holmes, calling him her friend, and decide to chastise the Black people, calling him out on his racism. And I would never forget that when I read this, whether she meant to or not, this is what this statement reminds me of. Because if you look at this, people, she's the one, again, put out the Lady SH so that people knew who it was. But yet here's her statement. It is not our wish to reveal the person involved. It is the system that needs to revise. Yes, the person was offensive, but it serves no purpose to name and shame her. It would make us just as bad. So she is equating the people who are calling out the racist woman, who are naming and shaming the racist woman, as should happen. She is calling people who are standing by her and naming and shaming people just as bad as the racist person. It's exactly the same thing. She's doing the equivalent. And this is what it reminds me of. And whether she means to, and maybe she just means well, and whatever. But again, she was the person that put out Lady SH. And why should the person who is racist not be named? Why should they not be named? And so, again, this is the thing. This is why you see the Buckingham Palace put out we have invited her to come to Buckingham Palace because this is the setup. We're going to invite her. We're going to have cameras, and then we're going to talk, and we're going to have beautiful, smiling, grinning pictures with Camilla, and see, we're not racist, and all will be well. Don't be shocked if how this ends. I know right now she said, okay, no, they have not contacted her, but I'm assuming at some point they will. Don't be shocked if that's what you see, how this ends. But, again, for me, for people in UK who fall for the royal nonsense every single time, I sincerely hope I am wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong on this. And, oh yeah, don't be surprised if there's an MBE and OBE that will come around soon also. Yeah, again, I hope I'm wrong, but don't be shocked. Anyway, here is Lady SH, Miss Susan Hussey. We remember her. This is one of the women, according to Nasty Biographer and others who love to say how much help Meghan was given in the royal family, and how much the Queen assigned people to help her and to help her to acclimate to the royal culture and all of those things. Yes, the person assigned to it, other than Samantha, that Meghan didn't trust at all, the other person, yes, Miss Susan Hussey. She was assigned to help Meghan. And can you imagine being with this woman on a daily? What that experience must have been like for Meghan. No wonder Meghan is like, I'm healing. What that experience must be like. I mean, this woman is so free to do this in public. And according to Nasty Book Person, and if you were to believe Nasty Book Person, this is what he said about, of course, it was, done and said in a way because, they want to make Meghan look like the bad person. Nasty Book Person says in his biography against the Sussexes, which we shall not name, Nasty Book Person wrote that courtiers have been have given a less than favorable view of the couple's 2017 engagement. In London, Lady Susan Hussey had shortly before New Year's enjoyed lunch with a group of theater executives and directors. While discussing the possibility that Meghan might become associated with the National Theatre after the wedding, Hussey became unexpectedly serious about the couple's future. This will end in tears, warned Hussey. Mark my words. Now she is meeting with theater directors. Remember, eventually Meghan would be named patron of the National Theater. So Susan Hussey, I guess she's going on a fact-finding mission and meeting with them to see if this is, maybe the Queen's Center, to see if this is would be a great place and a great patronage for Meghan. So she's there meeting theater executives. And this is what she feels comfortable to tell theater executives, for some, who are considering Meghan as their patron. This will end in tears. Mark my words. And again, grain of salt, because again, nasty book person. Anyways, even with all the stuff, with all of that, it says Newsweek wrote, King Charles retains courtiers who said the Sussexes' marriage will end in tears. And it's just like, can you imagine this? And this is the person the Queen gave to you, apparently, or assigned to make sure your life, what are you getting acclimated to? What exactly is she? What was exactly her advice to Meghan? And what was exactly the great thing she would be teaching Meghan about the culture of the royal family? This is who she is. She's sitting there wishing them, bad in the marriage, yet she's the person that is assigned to help her. And it's just, when Meghan said, I received no help, so many people said she was lying. And here we are. Moving on, I'm going to get to, the comments in a section. I just want to get through all of this. This is some of the statements from different royal reporters, and even Misan jumped in on it about when they saw what happened. Dr. Shola, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry told you of racism in the royal family and household. She was vilified, abused, and violated for speaking the truth. Ngozi Fulani's experience with Lady Susan Hussey wasn't isolated, one-off, or a bad apple at Buckingham Palace. You can't reform this. Misan Harriman, and we know Misan, who takes those beautiful photos of Meghan and Harry, he said, this is completely unacceptable. Ngozi Fulani is a giant in her field. She has dedicated her life to protecting women that are survivors of domestic violence. They should have known who she was and celebrated the fact that she was one of the souls that make this country great. Yeah, they should have known, but they don't care. That's the point. Even Jack Royston, who I never use because whatever. We'll get back to, we'll do Jack Royston another time. But even Jack Royston, he posted a vivid account of what it's like to walk the corridors of Buckingham Palace as a person of color. Will there be an investigation? And Nadine White tweet, in case you missed it, founder of Sister Space, UK's leading DV charity for Black women, has been left traumatized after attending the Violence Against Women and Girls event at Buckingham Palace yesterday. Ngozi Fulani says a palace aide subjected her to racially offensive questions about her heritage. And again, this is just, there are hundreds of them I just pulled in for. And my thing with all of this is, why are charities the overriding thing? I don't care what the royal family claim Camilla is doing. I don't care. Why are organizations who are supposed to be helping women who have been abused and traumatized, why are they allowing Camilla to be part of their organization, or claiming she's an advocate, or being a patron of their organization? Why are they allowing Camilla? As we talked about, look at what Camilla did to Princess Diana. She is one of the chief people that why there is this narrative today about Princess Diana being mentally unstable, that, she teamed up with her husband to mentally abuse a teenager. Camilla has never taken responsibility for any of it. She has never apologized or never taken responsibility for what she did to Princess Diana. She helped to destroy Princess Diana's marriage, and yet no, she's not the only one. Prince Charles is there as well. He's the one who is married to Diana, so most of it fall on him. But Camilla was a part of that. She was 50-50 with him in destroying this woman mentally and destroying her marriage, which, because there is a divorce, led to her not having security, led to her going to, being killed in France. Camilla should not be a part of anyone's organization when it deals with abuse of women. Camilla and Prince Charles hired the Daily Mail executive, apart from colluding with them and other tabloids, including The Sun, etc. They're literally, right now, their Daily Mail executive is their press secretary. The same Daily Mail that abuses her stepson every day and his wife every single day. Camilla has never acknowledged it, and she's never apologized for any of it. Why are these organizations allowing Camilla to be a part of their... I don't care how amazing her speech is. I literally don't care. They have a responsibility to the women who they are taking care of to make sure the people that are around them will not perpetuate the same kind of abuse. This is why this happened. Can you imagine if it was someone, and not, thank God it's Ngozi, at least she's in a space where at least she could have handled it. What if this was a woman that has just come out of this trauma? What it would have done to them? I don't care if it's a royal family. I don't care how many people see about your organization because maybe a royal mention it. The focus needs to be on the women who are abused, and you make sure that you know the people that are around them. Camilla should be around no one who has been abused. None of these organizations should have her being a patron. So, I mean, as much as I am really, it breaks my heart to see what she went through. This has to be said. I mean, it's like, no. They need to break away from Camilla. She wants to go. Let her first acknowledge what she's done to Diana. Let her stop her abuse and her collusion with the tabloids that are abusing her daughter-in-law. Unless she does those things and apologize and make restitution for those things, Camilla should literally be nowhere near anyone's organization for abused women, because she is participating in it. She participated in it with Princess Diana, and she's participating in it with Prince Harry and Meghan. Right now, she's participating in it. And so, anyway, I'm going to jump in the chat for a second, give my, stop talking. I'm sorry. You guys are like, Petal, stop. Mad World says, if they show you who they are, believe them unless they are proven that they've changed. And I haven't yet seen that they have changed. Exactly. And again, this doesn't mean somebody can't change. It doesn't mean someone can't, go from one. I mean, look, case in point, Prince Harry. Prince Harry was one way and he's changed completely. He's seen what he's done. He's changed. He's made a new life. He's gone a new direction. That you can grasp for. We are human. We make mistakes. We do stupid things. We commit things that, okay, maybe it was then. We have changed a person. But you have to acknowledge what you've done, confess what you've done, take ownership of it, what you've done, and change. None of this in the royal family. They are constantly just hiding it and burying it and I hope people forget. And we just can't forget. Let's see. Wendy Loman says, this is why the monarchy is always have problems going forward. The people who live and work in these institutions do not want to want change. To keep the status quo, racism included. Yep. Ma Jones says, I'm glad karma is here for that family. More of their stuff will be revealed. It's definitely, talk about karma. That was my original title for this article, actually. Karma sure knows when to, talk about precise timing. Talk about knowing when to come in and be like, mm-mm, no, 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 no. You're not going to pretend. People are going to know who you are. You know, I'm telling you, I love Karma. Karma and the ancestors, man. Let's see. Emerald says Kamala is a poster woman for abuse against women. Does she forget Princess Diana? Apparently. Apparently, or at least she stuffed her under the, stuffed her in the closet and hoping nobody remembers what she did to Princess Diana. Fandy, hi Fandy. Fandy says, I feel for Meghan, what she went through on that island. Eesh. I'm telling you, the abuse of Meghan is unreal. I mean, having to deal with threats to your life and then the racism within that family, it just, nobody should have to put up with that. And yet people are still questioning and attacking her and attacking Harry for walking out and, walking away from that institution. Unbelievable. Cynthia Ashton says, at the end of the day, we are humans, can't clean the heart from its evil, can't cleanse the heart from its evil. It takes the atoning work of the crucified, ascended, living Christ. Amen. Amen, Ashton. But we could take steps to it. She could take steps. She could take steps towards changing, Cynthia says, one has to appreciate the fact that Ngozi is working with an organization that requires a certain amount of confidentiality. Thus, her reason for not calling the name. Well, that is true. But if she really wanted confidentiality, she would not put Lady SH. The moment she put Lady SH, that takes away all confidentiality. Because any person who knows about the royal family and knows the ins, as i.e. any squatty, would figure who Lady SH is right away. Because not only that, they literally just appointed her to a new position, and she's one of the household's top people. She's head of household. So right away, when you hear in that environment, you would know right away who that is. So if she wanted confidentiality, she would not have put that name. But it's just sort of like a backing down and a backing away from that. So it's like, why shouldn't she be named? The royal family are always trying to hide behind anonymity. It's time to name and shame. It's time to name them. Let's see. Nancy says, now the truth about racism and the royal family has surfaced. Was Meghan telling lies? No, she told the truth. Wow, the world is watching. Yeah, and if you remember, this whole last 2 weeks, how the British press have been attacking Harry and Meghan because the magazine, they asked Carrie about the racism in the royal family and how Meghan and Harry, called it out. And so the British press have been lying, that claiming that Carrie said that's the only reason they are getting the award, which is a lie. But they have been attacking Harry and Meghan because, the royal family is racist. How dare Meghan and Harry receive an award for saying the royal family is racist and all of this stuff. And here steps in Karma and the ancestors to put it like, if you didn't get the royal family were racist before, let me just lay it out for you. Let me just put it in front of the world and have the world spotlight on it. So you can no longer sit there claiming that the royal family is not racist. Let's see. Terry says she should be retiring. What kind of advice she should be retiring? What kind of advice could she give to Meghan? Maybe she was spying on Meghan instead, which is, I'm sure, the most of them were doing. Maybe the queen assigned her, out of a good heart, like, oh, my, and she was one of the queen's top aides, so she assigned her a top aide, just like she had signed, Samantha, who had her top, aide to help out Harry and Meghan. And we remember Meghan not wanting her to read that letter to her dad. Meghan didn't trust any of them. And when she said she did not receive any help, hello, for all those people who claim, no, Meghan is lying. She got help. Yeah. From Lady Susan Hussey. Joanne says, does she not understand these people are in charge of the system? I guess not. This lady Ngozi needs deprogramming. A lot of Brits need deprogramming. A lot of them need deprogramming. Oh, no, it's not the people, it's the system. Well, the system isn't doing itself. The people in the system is the problem. Let's see. I mean, the people, they're the ones that created the system. So you gotta, it's just like, but according to Shaw, you can't, I mean, this is not something you can't reform that. It's like you gotta start all over and get rid of all of that. Especially the old guard at the palaces. That stuff you can't reform. You have to get rid of that and start over. Gwendolyn says we'll never forgive the queen because she could have shut it down. She could have, but again, when you look in terms of how Meghan and Harry have responded to the queen, it more speaks to the fact that the queen had no power. They just used her name and used her as proxy for whether it's their hate or whether they want sympathy. It, from how Meghan and Harry have spoken about her, seems she did not have any power. Let's see. Kim Code says, Lydia, she's talking to Lydia, isn't that how the unroyals do things? Let the tabloids and their pieces say what they can't say out loud to play that game? Yep, that's exactly what they do. That is exactly what they do. Mercedes said the queen knew exactly what she was doing. People want to excuse her, but there is no excuse for the queen. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Mercedes. Verda, what are you saying, Verda? Verda says, and that just shows how stupid some Black people can be. He is not her friend. How dare you go against people who knew that it was racism? Are you blind and stupid? I mean, it was one of those things. I know you're talking about that doctor and Eamon Holmes. Yeah, it's exactly what she did. And when you realize, and so I was just like, what? So then I did a little background check and realized that she is married to a white man. And so she is in that space. So she's in that space. And what it turned out is she was just basically afraid to rock the boat. She knew it was racism. She knew what Eamon Holmes did was racist. She simply did not want to rock the boat. She was afraid to rock the boat. So that's why she did what she did. And so she sided with him and, basically chastised the Black people who were standing up for her and against his racist behavior. I would never forget that. It's just like, wow. Rosemary says, disgusting and unbelievable are ways people try to defame the Duchess Meghan. They should let their petty jealousies go. Meghan is carefree and unbothered. She sure is. She sure is. She is being that seed that's sprouting up. So there you go. Lorna says, I pedal. Hello, Lorna. She's displayed passive-aggressive behavior. If she didn't want the lady found out, why put out SH? She just didn't wish to own her part and be judged as a bad person to her friends. Yeah, I mean, whatever her motives are, is definitely a passive aggressive thing to do, to put out the name, and when we figure it out, be like, oh no, we shouldn't say her name because that will make you just as bad as the racist person. I mean, like, really? Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Lit Lane says, I still want to know who said Meg must be 50% of herself and what that actually meant. Hopefully Meghan will talk about it in that Phantom series, if there ever is that Phantom series, or maybe Harry will talk about it in his book. I am very interested to know what is there. Oh, wow, Alan, thank you so much. I appreciate your donation. He says, they probably apologize to some other this is sad, but this could really be true. Oh, God. As sad and gross as this is, and It's funny because this could actually be what they did. They probably apologized to some other black woman walking down the street thinking they all look alike. SMH with disgust. I'm telling you, because in that thing they said we contacted her, which they never did. So maybe they contacted some other black person thinking, well, yeah, they do look alike. They're black people. I mean, how many times have they done stuff like that? How many times have, in the British press, they've done crazy stuff like that? And yeah, it just, Connie Bomber, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate your support. I am scrolling up to see if I missed any. I so appreciate your support. Thank you so very much. Anne Lewis, Anne says, the women should rise above this and prove that these racists are and prove to these racists that blacks will not lay down and roll over. This happened after SA president sacked up to KC3. I'm telling you, it's time people rise up. And again, as horrendous as this has been, I am hoping this is the thing that lights a fire under British black people, which we've been on your cases for a long time about this sort of thing. I'm hoping that this is not just going to be like, okay, it's a one-off. Let's be upset about it for a day and then let's just not talk about it again. I am hoping that this is a thing where people would be like, no, enough is enough is enough. I'm not taking this anymore. Sylvia says, Compton Caligal, I hope someone tweet the picture of Domingo staring Duchess Meghan down at the walkabout while in the UK for QE2 funeral. Yeah, we remember that video. That was very sick. Let's see. Lorna says, Petal, that woman has done this before, of course, and probably gotten away with it because she wasn't exposed and she thought she could do it in a public setting. Absolutely true. Because, I mean, if they're okay to do this there in a public place like that, well, yeah, one has to assume this has been done way a lot of times. I mean, she's been in the royal family forever and with the Queen. Imagine what they do in private and what they say in private. That is the scary part. Let's see. Yes, yeah, absolutely, Elaine. Yep, that is exactly her who said that they wouldn't last. Yeah. I mean, imagine that, you're wishing bad on someone's marriage and nobody knows what the future holds in anything. But it's just like for you to be in that space. And again, talking to theater directors who are you're sitting there considering if Meghan is going to be a patron. So then what do you think they're thinking of when Meghan actually became the patron of the theater? Would they not remember that conversation with her? And it's like you set her up to fail before she even got there. Unbelievable. John Garcia says, "All right. We know the truth. We know the truth is that they don't care about black people, people of color. No, they don't. They don't. And it's a hard thing for a lot of people to accept that they don't care. They don't care what your position is. They don't care how much you've accomplished. They don't care. These events and all these photo things is not about you. It's about them. They don't care. You are a prop. And it's hard to accept it. That as much as you've accomplished and you think you should be celebrated, they don't care." And I hate to be this blunt, but they don't. And unless people understand that, they will keep putting themselves into these positions and having these kind of experiences. And worse yet, allowing their children in these places. So in order for stuff like this to change, Black people need to start saying, no, we will not, unless we see market change, unless you own your racism, unless you own what you've been doing and then what you've done, and make restitutions, really apologize, pay reparations, apologize what you did to Meg. I mean, down the line, people need to see market change. Unless, no, we're not coming. We're not going to be there. We're not accepting your MBEs and OBEs. No, you will not buy our loyalties. unless that happens, this is going to keep happening. But anyway, let's move on and let's see what else I have. I think I probably have one more thing. Hang on one second. Hang on. Okay, let's move ahead and see what we have. And we talked about this before. I mean, if you think Susan Hussey was the only one who would do something that stupid, let's remind ourselves that Prince Charles did this a few years ago. He did exactly the same thing to a reporter, and she wrote this article in The Guardian. We've talked about this on this here before. And actually, it's 2:00, so I know Baron is coming on. So if you need to jump off the Baron, it's totally fine. We're going to end this here in a little bit, and you can always come back and finish up on the replay. And I'll probably join you on Baron in a bit as well. So if you need to go, I love you, and we'll see you on the replay. That is totally fine. And going back to Prince Charles, yes. Prince Charles did this, and it says, Prince Charles, do you think my brown skin makes me un-British? By Anita Selly. And it says, if you're looking under left there, it says, the Prince of Wales told me that I don't look like I'm from Manchester. If this is how he thinks, he shouldn't be the next head of the Commonwealth. And this was I think, a Commonwealth event in Manchester. And he looked at her brown skin and said, "Oh, you don't look like you're from Manchester." And so she wrote about it. And this is a bit of the exchange. It says, I met Prince Charles this week at the Commonwealth People's Forum, at which I was a speaker on a day whose itinerary was entitled "Politics of Hope," taking on injustice in the Commonwealth. It was part of the build-up to the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting, the summit of leaders of 53 countries representing more than 12 billion people. I shook the prince's hand with my right hand. In the other, I was holding a copy of an anthology, "We Mark Our Memory, Writings from the Descendants of Indenture," in which I have an essay published. I told him that my mother was born in Guyana and that the anthology had collected hidden stories of indenture. And where are you from? He asked the prince. Manchester, UK, I said. Well, you don't look like it, he said and laughed. He was then ushered to the next person. Although I have experienced such off the cuff, supposedly humorous comments before, I was stunned by the gaffe. And again, this wasn't a gaffe. Prince Philip was like this as well. They're all like this. So it's like, you don't look like you're from Manchester. It's the same thing as Susan Hussey. You don't look like you're from England. Surely you're from the Caribbean. Surely. No. You can't be a UK national. You can't. You have to be from the Caribbean. You have to have been born in the Caribbean. It's the same thing. You can't be from Manchester. You're brown skin. You can't be from Manchester. No. And so again, if you want to go be firing or, making Susan Hussey, resign, then hello, then Prince Charles, shouldn't he have at least? So anyways, and remember that diversity czar that was supposed to be hired, after the Oprah interview on September 21st of March of 2021, Sunday the 27th of March, Sunday the 27th of March 2021, royal family considers diversity czar under modernization. By June, Buckingham Palace has no plans to hire a diversity czar, as previously reported. Yeah. Few months later, after they're like, yeah, we're thinking about it. Oh, no, we are not racist. After Prince William's statement, we are not racist. They have no plans to hire that diversity czar. So we see where we are now. Anyways, change. Let's just come down from that. Actually, you know what? Let's just do something. Let's just, I haven't done this in a while. A little bit of a change music, I think. Let's see. Thunder. Yeah, let's try thunder. Change. All right. Back to US, or at least Dusseldorf, back to some positivity. Breathe away all that stress from the UK. And this is such a cool video. Invictus Dusseldorf posted it today, and it basically is about, they've just started selling tickets today. So I know I saw in the chat, Karen M, I think that was you. Was that you, Karen M, that said you got your tickets to the opening and closing ceremonies already? So again, yep, starting today. Tickets you can get for the opening and closing ceremony. This says, "Are you ready?" The incredibly experienced that is the Invictus Games is coming ever closer. Be part of it. Be part of it to experience the power of sports in recovery in Dusseldorf, 9 to 16 September 2023. Tickets are for the opening and closing ceremonies are now available. And with that is this wonderful black and white video of table tennis or ping pong, however you call it. And Harry was playing with some of the Invictus participants, and in the end we see him playing ping pong with Meghan. It's so cute, and it's so cute. So I'm going to put a link to it so you guys can see it if you haven't already seen it. If you're on Twitter or any social media, I'm assuming it's there already. And also Invictus Dusseldorf do have a YouTube page as well. It is on there, so I'm going to put the link from there so that you can see it. So cool. I am so excited about this. Karen M, I'm sure Karen M is like, yeah. She got her tickets. So she is set to go for the opening and closing ceremony. Awesome. So anyways, it is really, really, really exciting that they're doing this, and I love that they dropped it today. In my head, I was thinking, please, Harry and Meghan, don't say a word, don't do anything. Let them just let them just fall on whatever they're doing. Don't interrupt them. Let karma do his thing with them. But Invictus dropped this, so I was like, all right. At least we have something positive to talk about. So for that, I am really, really happy. Oh, Cookies and Cream, sorry. She says, I love the Invictus trailer. It is wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful. And Carolyn says, love wins. Oh. I love it. Rosetta is giving roses. Wow. And Gwendolyn says, Harry and Meg. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry, Black Queen. We'll come to that in a second. Sorry, Black Queen. I was trying to click on Gwendolyn's and I jumped to you, so sorry. Gwendolyn says, Harry and Meghan are truly outstanding. So yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it is very exciting. I'm excited about it. Obviously, Invictus is excited about it. And yeah. Come on, Invictus Games. We need all the positivity that we can get. But anyways, guys, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators who are here on Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen, and Julie Rock, Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys so much for spending a few minutes with me. Thank you to our 2 Cents Crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis. You are awesome. I'm going to put my banner to remind you. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Please click the notification bell so that you know that when we drop a video. Please like and share this video and help us to build our community larger. And if you're able, join our community, join the 2 Cents Crew in supporting the channel. And you can get some of my little perks that I post there. As well. So that is awesome. And thank you to our Gold Star supporters who support the channel, whether it's super thanks, super stickers, super chat, all of it, PayPal, Cash App, all the ways that you donate and support the channel. I appreciate all of you for that. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate all of you. And thank you guys. Have a fantastic day. Breathe. I'm going to breathe and go do something positive and get away from royal mess for a bit. So I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you tomorrow. Bye.